most secret document of Communist Party in Estonia and sent it to Finland. A Finnish contact person sent it to Swedish journalist. It was read publicly in Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, and then published all over the world. And even 9 years later, 1989, I was in the Russian meeting in Tallinn, where some Moscow Communist Party boss was shouting all over the square that this Estonia is the most worst enemy, because here are those people who sent out our most secret document from 1978, and we still don't know who they are. They are here, and I was standing there and really feeling proud this moment. So also another case I am proud of was a famous case Sirje Kiin, or Sirje Bluebird. There was a book published 1983, first in Estonian, in Sweden, then in Finland in Finnish, and then in Sweden again in Finnish, and later in Hungarian language, about Estonia and Russia relationship historically, economically, and culturally, how actually Russia has been oppressing Estonia, this kind of political, analytical overview. Immediately when this book came out, me and my husband were accused by KGB that we wrote this book and we are authors of this book. We were several times invited to KGB investigation, not just asked did we do it, but just admit it. Because we know we did it, you did it, and why we asked, why do you think we did it? Because this book is so accurate, it has so much accurate inside information in it, that it must be done here, not outside, by immigrants who usually are more politically abstract and not so precise about facts inside of Soviet Union. So actually they admitted us because this book was so good. That's why probably we wrote it. Who wrote it actually? It was our main contact person, Finnish Estonian lawyer Juhan Christian Talve, who became later my second husband after I divorced from my first husband. And he was a real author. We sent during 7 years all information out for him to write this book. So we were like helping with all datas for this book, but actually he wrote this book. What happened to this book in Estonia? This is also kind of funny story, because it was the most forbidden book in Estonia. You couldn't bring it in, but for central committee they needed it. So there was a so-called secret department in every library where forbidden books were. You could get only there if you could get several KGB party permissions, license. And one historian later told me that he got those license to his study to read this book. There was not allowed to write any notes. Only he learned 1 page, went out, wrote it down. Went in, wrote, learned another page, went out, wrote it down, and then he had handwritten book of this. It was about 200 pages. So in Western media, all socialist newspapers in Finland, in Sweden, in many countries, of course, criticized. It's a very bad anti-Soviet book, full of lies. But all real free press and normal media praised this book, and it got quite good coverage in Swedish and Finnish media. So now we finish talk about all those dissident activities, and we need to concentrate how actually happened this whole liberation process. It was not, it didn't happen how we got free 1991. It didn't happen suddenly. It was long process, step by step, which considered all what I told you, but then it needed more massive activities together. As you know, in the middle of 80s, Gorbachev came to power. It was younger generation. Brezhnev was dead, and all these changes in the higher level of Soviet Union, so-called avalikustamine, glasnost, like Gorbachev tried to make economic catastrophe situation to work to make it more loose, more open society, and result was that all processes went out of control of Communist Party. And in Estonia, first step was ecological movement joined by hundreds of people. Then it was heritage movement joined by hundreds, thousands of people, and then it was already political movement. 1988 already several parties started to show up. It was possible to found a party. Until then it was only one communist party, as you know, in Soviet Union allowed, and singing revolution began. And I want this part, because it's so emotional, to show you a few pieces from very good movie, Singing Revolution, made by American couple, James Tusty and Maureen Tusty, and it has been in many American movies and also in many schools. So I warmly recommend, and Jack, please help me to show some part of it. Just 5 minutes.
What role can singing play when a nation is faced with annihilation by its neighbors? Can culture hold a people together? For centuries, the small country of Estonia has faced these questions. With the Baltic Sea to the west and Russia to the east, Estonia is a gateway between Europe and Russia, and has always been a desired place. People here have faced wave after wave of occupiers. Danes, Swedes, Germans, Poles, Russian Tsars, the Soviet Union. All have seen the value of this land. And more Estonians began gaining courage. Two months later, a summer celebration concert in the capital city of Tallinn erupted into a spontaneous declaration of hope.
There was so many people. The square was full of people, and all people was very happy.
siin vanalinna päevade lõpul laulsid Ivo Linna neid Mattiiseni Isamaa laule. Partei ja võimud kartsid seda vanalinna päevade lõppu, kuna oli teada, et kogu need päevad kihutasid ainult rahvast üles. Ivo Linna ütles, et siin meil ei lubatud rohkem esineda, läheme nüüd kõik lauluväljakule, laulame seal edasi. Siis juba laulukaare ette hakkas rahvast kogunema, nii et lõpuks võis meid olla ka 100 000 seal.
So we went there with the friends, and it was great to see that all the strangers, they were just singing like one man. And we were hand in hand, and it was great. I still have chicken skin, if I remember that.
And then we saw something absolutely fabulous, absolutely
incredible.
Yes, we saw our national flag.
And suddenly there was a guy with a motorcycle who had our Estonian flag, and it was really great feeling to see.
But then when this first step was done, then suddenly, in a moment, the flags started to blossom everywhere. It was like spring is coming, and then things started to blossom.
A few Estonian flags had come out in previous demonstrations, but never had they been so brazenly flown before so many people in one place. Word spread, and for almost a week, thousands more people arrived each night.
Kui siiamaani on revolutsioone tehtud hävitamisega, põletamisega, tapmisega, vihkamisega, siis meie hakkasime oma revolutsiooni tegema naerdes ja lauldes.
This man is Heinz Valk, famous is caricature of me he made 1980 kicking Brezhnev's ass. Kind of. So it was published in Cultural Newspaper 1988. I think this is my